Thanks again to Ralph. Let's keep the show pushing with what they're telling me to call winners and losers, but man, just feels like setting myself up. I know that we don't know how this is going to age. Let's call it my best and worst grades from the 2024 draft. I don't like to call anybody a winner or a loser before their draft picks have even played a snap, but you get the point. We're in the instant gratification business, and that's what we're gonna do. There are two classes that just knocked my socks off that we haven't talked about yet, and two more that just left me wanting. We'll go with that, and we'll get into it, starting with quite easily my favorite class out of this weekend. That would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just made a commitment to turning their offensive line into a strength. I am here for it. A+ Pittsburgh. Broderick Jones, their first round pick last year, already showing promise at tackle, and they turn around and they hammer it again. In the first round, they draft Washington's Troy Fautanu, 20th overall. This was a guy a lot of people thought might be gone by pick 10 or 12. They get him at 20. I would imagine he plays left tackle, but he can play damn near anywhere. So that's great for starters. Then you turn around, West Virginia center Zach Frazier, seen as a top 40 prospect by a lot of people. They get him at pick 51. So barring something terrible happening, I see the Steelers getting 2+ starters on the offensive line with their first 2 picks of the draft. Like I said, combine that with Broderick Jones, and your offensive line might really be about to become a strength. On top of that, they followed up with Mason McCormick in the 4th round, a guard. So that's just another resource. I'm not saying all these guys will be starters from day one, but the Steelers seem bound and determined to fix their offensive line based on the way the last couple seasons have gone. I don't blame them, and I think it's going to work. I would call that an A+ just based off of that. But then in the 3rd round, they go get Roman Wilson, friend of the NFL on Fox podcast, to play receiver for them. That feels like a Pittsburgh pick. Very Hines-Wardy, in my opinion. Roman Wilson can play everywhere. I would imagine he's going to be a slot guy, but he can play everywhere. He's gritty, does the dirty work. Promise you he's going to lay a block or two over the course of his rookie year. Love that pick for them. It complements George Pickens really well. Steelers have made life much easier on whoever their quarterback is, whether it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. And then just one more to throw in, Peyton Wilson. So many Wilsons on this team. The linebacker out of North Carolina State. Dude flies everywhere and hits everything. The issue is he just doesn't have an ACL in one of his knees. But if he's healthy, he's going to be a fan favorite in Pittsburgh, a blue-collar guy that hits like a truck. Love this draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can't wait to see what this offensive line looks like. Let's keep it rolling. The Arizona Cardinals, it makes sense that they had a great draft. I gave them an A-. I guess the one thing that, if you want to say it makes it less impressive, it's just that they picked 8 times in the top 104. I would hope you pick a lot of great players with that many picks, but I love the way general manager Monty Ossenfort said, hey, we already have all these picks. We don't need to trade down and get more. Let's draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Makes a ton of sense. He helps them immediately. He makes the Cardinals offense that much more viable already. And if that wasn't enough, they add Florida State running back Trey Benson at 66 overall. So you got 2 ready-made star potential players on your offense. And I'll throw one more in there. They picked 8 guys, like I said, but the last one is really fun for me. At pick 104, Texas Tech safety Dadrion Taylor Demerson. Not saying he's going to start right away, but he's just a fun, versatile, ball-hawking safety. I think it's very fun that he wound up in Phoenix where Budda Baker can tutor him. I love that pick a lot. I love all their picks, and I think if even half of them hit, the Cardinals will have gone a long way to making themselves viable in the NFC West. That's the good news. Let's get to the grades I didn't love so much. And not surprisingly, these were teams that just didn't have a lot of big time picks. Let's start with the Houston Texans. Hard to win when you don't have a first round pick, guys. Based on that alone, it's a C+ just in terms of the haul. Houston fans aren't going to be complaining. They got Will Anderson and CJ Stroud just a year ago. They spent a ton of money in free agency. And I would guess they're going to point out they got Stephon Diggs as part of this year's haul as well. So all is well in Houston. Don't get me wrong, but this draft class in particular, no first round pick. And I'm intrigued by the guy they got at number 42 overall, not necessarily in a good way. Kamari Lassiter, cornerback, really good player. And I'm normally not this guy. I get it. It's the underwear Olympics. Watch the tape. I understand. But a 4.64 40-yard dash at cornerback, it might be the only position where that really and truly matters. And it scares the hell out of me. D'Amico Ryans knows more about defense than I ever will. So I'm going to give him a degree of trust, but that pick scares me very, very deeply when you consider what you're asking a cornerback to do. I do love the pick of right tackle out of Notre Dame, Blake Fisher, though. I think that's a very good pick. So not awful by any means, Houston. Not my favorite. Finishing it up with the Cleveland Browns. At the very least, we can say the debt for the Deshaun Watson trade is finally paid. C+ because of no first round picks. And on top of that, I just don't think the Browns are a team that's going to get a lot from their rookie class. I think Michael Hall, the Ohio State D tackle, and Zach Zenner, the Michigan guard, nice prospects, will probably eventually start for the Browns, but I doubt it's this year. And watching what happened with the Browns, it just emphasized for me, more so than any team in the league, I think, this year is going to be about the team that they already have in place. They've got quality starters basically everywhere. They traded for Jerry Jeudy earlier in the offseason. The defense is obviously loaded. I don't see a lot of room for rookies to contribute. And so for that, it's hard to be impressed by this draft class, especially when there's no first round pick. Zenner and Hall, I like them for the long term, but this team is going to be all about their vets and all about how Deshaun Watson rebounds from this injury. So a good team, a lackluster draft.